still can't believe we ran into each other today. I mean, how often do you encounter one of your old classmates while you're on the clock? Me too. What a pleasant surprise. I knew you were in the nursing program at school, but when did you start working at the OBGYN? This week, actually. The pay is way better than most other hospital gigs, so I decided to go for it. I see. I guess it pays to save lives, right? And look at you, all super duper pregnant. That baby is due any day now, right? I would have been shocked enough to hear you got married, let alone that you were starting a family. You know what they say, though. Every pot has its lid. I can't believe it myself, despite how obvious it is even in my body. Meanwhile, you're as drop-dead gorgeous as the day I first met you. You know that? Well, aren't you the smooth talker? Medical school was hell, but being an RN is good work enough that I could pay to get myself dolled up, you know? I went on a trip to Europe right after I finished school, and oh, guys were all over me. You have no idea how often a boy will think he's the first person to make a joke about me giving him CPR. Like, I'm a nurse, not a lifeguard. That does sound pretty fun. Wow. You've really been living it up, huh? You know it, baby. Don't sell yourself short, Max. You're so brave for seeing this pregnancy through. I could never let myself go and have all that bloating and swelling. It takes serious guts to leave the house looking like that in my book. Don't even get me started on the morning sickness. That's the real nightmare. I admit it's pretty hard to look at myself in the mirror most days. I tried putting on makeup in the early months, but at this point I've just given up on that front. I don't know if any makeup could mask that, honey. Maybe the doctor can refer you to a plastic surgeon. I'd give you my guy, but he's probably out of network. Honestly, though, I hope you're able to set your expectations correctly. Giving birth is not gonna fix what's up with your face. The best thing you can hope for as a woman of your, visage is that your kid ends up normal and with a less screwed up face than you. You know what they say, though. Like mother, like daughter, right? I pity that baby in your belly. Where is this coming from all of a sudden? Are you feeling okay? I'm just saying, having a mother as scary looking as you might be, a bit traumatizing is all. Don't you think there is a chance it might be better off with people more suited to raising a baby? I beg your pardon? That's no way to talk to someone, let alone a friend. Are you seriously suggesting I give up my baby because you don't like the way I look? Oh my God, can't you take a joke? Take the angry mom thing down a few pegs. I was obviously just pulling your leg. Well, maybe in medical school or Europe or whatever they have a different sense of humor, because that was really uncalled for. You can call me whatever names you like. Flaunt having a body like a goddess, fine. But don't ever try to speak badly about my baby. Oh, you're seriously like the worst kind of pregnant chick. You haven't even given birth yet. You're acting like you need to fight tooth and nail for this baby. You think you're on top of the world just because you tied the knot and got knocked up? Well, guess what? You're a dime a dozen, and with how broke you are, you need more than a dozen dimes. Broke? That's another odd change of subject. Is it, Max? Is it? A little birdie told me you're late on your paying of your hospital bills. I mean, going to the doctor's office when you can't even afford to pay. That's a little humiliating, even by your standards. Okay, at this point I'm starting to wonder if you have the wrong number or something. I was around the corner and I heard you telling the receptionist you weren't getting a bill today. And you sheepishly walked out of the place without paying. Without paying me, basically. That's all it takes for you to assume I'm some kind of bill dodger? You've got a pretty overactive imagination. I'm not imagining anything. The reality of the situation is clear to me. You're an ugly, no good bottom feeder trying to pass off your miserable life onto your kid. All right, I've made up my mind. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to find a way to get you banned from the hospital. We don't need scum like you for a patient. You can't do something like that. That's discrimination. I don't know. I doubt anyone here wants to be saddled with your incompetence. I'm sure we can work something out. Even if I'd done any of the stuff you'd said, which I haven't, by the way, this is completely ludicrous. Who cares what you did or didn't do? All that matters is getting this U-shaped eyesore out of this place before you do some serious damage to her image. Your image. I'm sure you know this, but I'll spell it out. Our OBGYN sees a lot of really famous women as his patients. Actresses, supermodels, the list goes on. Yeah, I've been starstruck once or twice in the waiting room, sure. In that case, I'm sure you understand that this is no place for a low-class, common woman like yourself, right? No, not right. Look, nobody wants to get their hands dirty with your nasty newborn when it happens. So you really should just go elsewhere. That's what I'm trying to say. You're seriously still on this garbage. I'll be on it until you scram and go find a hospital that's more your speed. Do me a favor and don't ever let me see your face around here again.
Babe, what's this about you deciding to go through the childbirth at home? We never discussed anything like this before.
I'm doing what? That's the first I'm hearing about it.
Wait, really? That's weird because your father just called me saying that a nurse had told him that you've decided to change your plans to give birth at the hospital.
What the heck is going on?
Well, I'm relieved to hear we're all on the same page, because that's exactly how the two of us felt. I mean, if you think that sort of thing is what's best for you, I'll trust you and agree with you, but you gotta at least consult with me on it, you know?
Dylan, please. I promise if I wanted to make a decision like that, I'd tell you. Something is definitely amiss about all this, and clearly you were lied to.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense, now that I think about it. But why would someone from the hospital call your father about it? It's not exactly a normal thing to make a prank call out of, right? And according to her, they apparently put you through all the training and did all the paperwork for it.
I'm telling you, that's just flat out wrong. The doctor and I never even discussed that as an option. If it was the nurse who called my dad, though, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Why? Did one of the nurses give you a hard time?
That doesn't even begin to cover it. Her name's Paige, and to cut a long story short, we went to high school together. We must have had some legendary feud I've forgotten about, though, because after my exam, she basically told me I was too ugly and broke to be a patient of hers.
She said what? Maxine, I don't know what high school was like for you, but that's about as demented a thing as you could say to someone, in my opinion. You guys weren't friends, were you? This sounds more like the stuff bullies say in the 80s movies.
Trust me, I was just as taken aback as you are. I mean, we weren't close per se, but I never expected to hear anything like that from her. Anyways, she's not actually a doctor or anything. She doesn't really have the authority to ban someone from the hospital, so I wouldn't worry too much. She's like one of those tiny dogs you see girls carrying around in a purse, you know? All bark, no bite. I'm having this baby in a hospital, and she's not going to stop us. For now, I'm just going to call my dad and tell him this was a huge misunderstanding. I don't want him worrying himself sick, especially over some girl drama.
Right, I'll leave that to you. Are you sure you don't want me to file a report about this crazy nurse to the hospital's HR department or anything, though?
I don't think that's really necessary, especially with the baby being due so soon. I think it'll just complicate things further. Let's just keep an eye out for her and try to be on our best behavior, okay? Okay, what's it gonna take for you to get off my back, Paige? If you don't like me, that's one thing. But did you really have to lie to the receptionist and say the doctor didn't have me booked for today? You saw me talking to the doctor last week about this appointment too. Are you really gonna mess things up this bad at your job just to get back at me? Do I really need to remind you what I said last time we spoke? This hospital has no interest in serving penniless, pig-like women such as yourself. If you can't understand my words, I have no choice but to make you understand with actions, such as kicking you out. Besides, this is all on a need-to-know basis, but we're expecting a very famous client today. I'm talking Oscar-worthy stuff. Clearly, we've got bigger fish to fry than you, so buzz off! At the end of the day, aren't we all still patients? Patients who should be treated fairly and equitably by the medical world, no matter what? Get off the soapbox, Max. This is the real world, and life is unfair. Do you honestly expect anyone to treat people equally? Or are you just that desperate? You weren't born a superstar. Boo-hoo! Don't expect any sympathy from me, especially when you can't even afford to pay your hospital bills. If you ask me, broke women like you shouldn't even have the luxury to give birth. If what you're saying is true, I'm going to have a serious heart-to-heart with my father about the preferential treatment happening in this place. You probably know him better as the director of the hospital, though. The director. I imagine you'll be hearing from him personally pretty soon, once word gets out about the ruckus you've been making, let alone the grief you've been giving me. I mean, he built this place's entire reputation on the idea of honesty and equal, fair treatment. What you're doing flies boldly in the face of that, and I don't think he's gonna just let it slide. Wait a second. You're kidding, right? There's no way you'd sit through everything I said last week and not mention your dad being the director even a single time. I don't know, maybe I've just gotten some thick skin from all the hell you put me through when we were in school for not being up to your standards of beauty. Then again, you never really did ask what my folks did for a living when we were younger, did you? That seems like a missed opportunity on your end. And in case you're wondering, my father worked in the administrative office for years before being handpicked by the last director to take over. No way! You're bluffing, I know it! You can test that hypothesis out pretty soon if you want. Like I said, he's at the top of the chain at this hospital, and since he's used to working administration, he's got a pretty close eye on what goes on with his staff. So when he heard a patient of his was being turned away by a snippy nurse, he was furious. When he found out it was his daughter, though, well, I don't really want to repeat the things he said, but let's just say he wasn't exactly in the best mood. Wait, what did he say? You didn't rat me out to your old man, did you? Rat you out? This is a hospital, Paige, not the mafia. For what it's worth, I didn't mention anything to him until he confronted me about it. You shot yourself in the foot today when you made me miss my appointment. That's all I'm saying. Then again, you could have avoided this if you hadn't assumed I was too poor to pay my bills, when the reality is I get a special deal with my insurance here. You know, the benefits you get when you or your family work in this hospital network. Something you should know about because you work here, allegedly. It's still not free, though. You definitely missed your copay, your deductible something. You're not gonna let this go, are you? Like I told you and the doctor that day, I wasn't feeling very well, and I asked the receptionist to forward the bill to my husband. You did? I don't blame you for not considering that, seeing as you thought I was too ugly to get married. But his office is pretty close by, in case of any sort of emergency. Anyways, I hope I've cleared up any misconceptions you might have had about me or my socioeconomic status. Misconceptions, right. You want my advice from here on out? Stick to helping patients and leave the financial side of things to the desk workers? If you don't mind, I'm going to take the back entrance because I've got an appointment I'm late for thanks to you. Just to give you a heads up on things, my father's here today too, and he's got quite an earful to give you. Don't be surprised if you get called into his office. Just like old times, right? Old times. I never got in trouble in high school, you know that. Yeah, maybe you'd have some sense in you if you ever got detention. Well, hope the hospital was some version of a breakfast club, or else you'll have to reschedule your next trip to Europe. Bye-bye now.
Hey, how did your appointment go? Any issues with that nurse girl, or did she stay out of your hair? I took care of the bill too, so no need to worry about that.
Thanks, honey. You're a lifesaver. Sorry to keep you worried while you're working, but you can rest easy. I was able to thwart my little frenemy without too much trouble.
No need to thank me. Trust me, you're definitely gonna do the heavy lifting when it comes to the baby. The least I can do is to make things easier for you. I admit, I was a little worried when the receptionist I talked to on the phone mentioned a fussy nurse harassing a pregnant lady. I'm just glad to hear you're in one piece.
Well, she did make me stand outside for a while before someone was able to let me in. I guess she really didn't want to go down without a fight.
That reminds me, your dad called earlier to say that he would be dealing with her, and that she would pay for accosting his daughter, or something grim like that. He didn't go into the details, but I imagine we won't be seeing her again when he's handed her a pink slip and an awkward update to her resume.
Phew! I don't care how good she is at her job or how pretty she is. I'm glad my old man had enough sense to get her sacked.
Yeah, and from what I heard, you weren't the only problematic encounter for her in the hospital, so she was already on thin ice with the administration.
Seriously? I don't know whether to be relieved that she didn't just have some weird grudge against me, or upset that she's just some kind of monster to everyone.
I heard she's got a track record of giving pregnant women a hard time, and even tried to get the phone numbers of some husbands more than once.
That's definitely a violation of patient confidentiality.
That doesn't even begin to cover how miserable she's made the other staff. Constantly misplacing important notes from doctors, looking down on the office workers, disappearing in the middle of a shift. The list goes on.
It's just getting worse and worse for her, huh? And here I thought she might have a graceful exit.
Oh, definitely not. Thank God she's gone, and especially with the baby coming so soon.
You can say that again. I'll have to thank Dad, too, the next time I see him. He's probably even more worried about the baby than we are. It sounds like I won't have another run-in with Paige, but I can't help but feel a bit of chills thinking about her, like she's not quite through with me yet.
I'm sure it's just some lingering anxieties. You'll be okay, I promise. She'd have to be a pretty big idiot to walk within a few feet of you after how your last encounter went.
You'd think so, but back in high school she was seriously untouchable. Do you remember that story I told you about the time a girl who made my math teacher run out of the room crying one day, and the next day we found out she quit?
That was her? Oh, what am I saying? Of course it was.
Like I said, untouchable.
Well, I guess she had to get her comeuppance sooner or later. Anyways, enough of this Paige talk. I'm gonna make sure that I'm ready for the delivery when it happens. I'm gonna drive straight from work and then meet your dad outside, and he'll show me the way through the back entrance.
Yep, you can trust him. He's been in this hospital long enough that he knows it like the back of his hand. Trust me. Between the two of you, I know the baby and I are in good hands. Thanks a lot, you ugly wench! How am I supposed to explain why I got fired so quickly at my next job interview? Good question. You could start by talking about all the horrible things you did that got you fired, right? Shut up! Don't get all smart on me just because your daddy was my boss or whatever. You're still a hideous toad of a woman, just like the old days. So go ahead. Flaunt all your family's money and status. At the end of the day, you'll always be a toad to me. I'm not really sure it counts as flaunting if I didn't even tell you about it at first. Whatever, you know exactly what I mean. I bet you think you're just doing so well for yourself because you can hook a guy and I can't, right? Well, who needs a guy like that anyway? Of course you can get a trash guy for your trash tastes, as if anyone could stack up to me. This is getting a little personal and uncomfortable. I think you should probably calm down before it gets worse. And besides, I'm pretty sure you'll find someone someday. Like you said, there's a pot for every lid, right? Ugh! Screw you! Screw your dad and the whole hospital, too. You made me look like an idiot, but not for long. I've already figured out a way to take you down along with the whole place. I don't like the sound of that. You're talking like a supervillain. There's a lot of famous ladies visiting that hospital, you know. It would be a shame if someone, I don't know, held onto a bunch of documents and receipts and sold off the information to the highest bidder, wouldn't it? What? You're kidding me, right? Your solution to getting fired is to resort to what, blackmail? Look, I understand if you hate me, but that should stay between us. These other patients have nothing to do with any of this. That's not going to be revenge. That's just a killing spree. Save the inspiring speech, sister. You're way too late. I already sold off a bunch of juicy info to some tabloid companies. They're a bunch of hyenas, but boy do they pay well. No way. And the best part, this little leak of information is going to be traced back to that clinic soon, and before too long it'll all be over for Daddy's hospital. Good luck getting any patients when they find out you guys can't keep their private information private. Consider your life officially over, Maxine. No, I don't think I will. You're the one whose life is over, sad to say. To think of the millions worth of damages you're causing. That's the point, idiot, isn't it? Let's just walk through this plan of yours a bit, shall we? This hospital has patients, ordinary and extraordinary alike, and that relationship is pretty rock solid. In fact, I'm willing to bet this little information leak you caused isn't going to burn bridges between my father and the patients you fixate on. After all, it's not going to take much to put together that the hospital didn't double-cross the patients, but rather both parties were besmirched by a parasite named Paige. That story you're peddling about the hospital losing its reputation is already crumbling, with how shaky of a foundation you built for it. Fine, whatever, who cares about that? The tabloid papers aren't going to be caring about the specifics when I'm raking in the dough for weeks with these hit pieces on the way. I wouldn't really count on those trashy magazines as a steady source of income if I was you. You know, they're not going to pay you for anything they publish with the information you gave them, right? Huh? They paid me when I gave them the information. Why wouldn't they do it again? Sure, but that was probably a finder's fee. Something to entice suckers like you to give them the goods instead of trying to self-publish or something. The kinds of magazines who buttered you up aren't exactly, pillars of journalistic integrity or anything. I don't know much, but I know a guy who does, and he said because the legitimacy of any source is questionable at best, leakers don't get compensated. Oh, what a ripoff! But wait a second. If I already gave them all the dirt I had, what am I gonna do now? Dunno, maybe get a real job? That reminds me, I was talking to my father just now, and he told me you'd gotten quite the rap sheet during your short stint at the hospital. He was already planning to press charges for the stress and problems you caused his staff and patients alike, but now? I have a feeling the thousands he was going to take you to court over is about to become millions. Millions? What are you talking about? I mean, it's a crime to steal personal information from your workplace, and you made the mistake of stealing from people with a lot of money to spend on their image. Hang on a second. I don't have that kind of money. Is that so? I really thought you'd be rolling in the deep after those tabloid sales you were bragging about. I really didn't think this through. I just wanted a little bit of revenge. I thought this would all blow over in a week or two. I'm gonna be submerged in debt, or worse, go to prison. Hey, don't worry. You're a gorgeous registered nurse who lives comfortably, right? Sure, you won't be able to go on vacation anytime soon, but keep your chin up. I'm sure you'll pay all that debt off with a little bit of elbow grease and hard work. No way! That's impossible! I guess you can consider this a lesson in discipline then. Don't write checks your body can't cash, girl. You weren't born yesterday, so stop acting like it, Paige. Guys like when a woman acts her age. Peace out. Take care. Stay beautiful. Once I got that she-demon out of my life, I was able to have a healthy, complication-free birth at the hospital. Dylan cried from joy, which I expected. But what really impressed me was seeing my dad move to tears. It was like I'd seen a whole new side of him. Nice to have a happy ending, right? As for Paige, her story only really gets worse, spiraling out of control. Once the initial investigation into her stealing information began, the cops quickly found out she'd stolen painkillers from the hospital, and it was all over for her. The tabloid people were more than happy to testify that she was the one who leaked the patient's information too, so there really was no escape for her. The trial went public because of all the famous people involved, and as a result, any of those scandalous stories that got spread around quickly lost traction. I never saw Paige after the courthouse, but something tells me that wherever she ended up, her days of living it up as some wannabe superstar are behind her.
Hi there, Maggie. What are you up to now? Mind if I come over and hang out for a bit? Man, I'm so hungry too. Hi, Sarah. Sorry, but I am still at work. Brendan and I are going to be grabbing food on the way back from work, so I think you might be on your own for food. What? You two are going out to eat? Where at? I want to go. Sorry, but we want to grab food by ourselves today. Our offices are quite close, so we are going to a place nearby. What are you talking about? Didn't you hear me? I said that I'm hungry. Are you really just going to let me starve? Didn't you eat at home already? Well, yes, but I'm hungry again. My mom just made old people food. It wasn't really satisfying. Now I want to go out and eat. So please, let me go eat out with you guys. Are you still at home right now? Because the restaurant we're going to is not near the house. We are just going to this restaurant because it is close to both of our workplaces. Maybe next time. Are you serious? I think you're just being cheap. Cheap? What? No, that is not what is going on here at all. But I'm your sister-in-law. And I am sure Brendan would love to have me tag along if you asked him. Actually, I did ask him, but he said that he just wanted to eat out with me tonight. Sorry about that. What? I don't believe you. There is no way he would not want me to come along. You might not want to hear this, but the connection that Brendan and I have as siblings is much stronger than the one you two have as husband and wife. Okay, if you say so. Anyways, like I said, I do not think you joining us for dinner is going to work today, so maybe another time. Oh man, Maggie! I am so disappointed in you. I can't believe I'm going to have to share a house with such an uncompromising person. Sometimes you can really be too much. Do you know that? Wait, what? Share a house? What are you talking about? Well, I've decided that I want to live closer to my parents, so I am going to be moving in with you guys. So anyways, I am just about ready to move all the stuff out of my place and head to yours. Since we're going to be housemates now, let's try a little harder to get along. And don't forget that I'm older than you, so try and show me a little more respect too. I never heard anything about you moving in to live with us. Last I checked, it's just Brendan and I and your parents moving into the new house. And me. That should be a given. I mean, you are moving into a new family home and I am the only one that gets excluded? How is that fair? But you were married when we decided everything. And we decided that since your mom and dad are both getting up there in age, it would be good to live in a house where it would be easier to take care of them. Okay. And? That doesn't change the fact that I should get to live there too. What are you even saying? I am saying that it's a house for my family, so I should get to live in it. It is as simple as that. Besides, I just got divorced. I don't even have a job. What other choice do I have? Wait, I don't get it. What happened? Before, you were talking about how this was the perfect chance to live on your own and rediscover yourself, right? Don't pretend like you know what is going on in my life, okay? Besides, I thought of something that changed my mind. If I move back in with my parents, then I can live there rent-free and won't even have to find a new job. So now my new plan is to live with you guys until I find a new husband. Whoa. We never talked about doing anything like that. You can't just impose yourself on everyone like that. Excuse me, but I thought I already made it clear that this decision really has nothing to do with you. So why don't you butt out? I am going to be moving in, whether you like it or not. I am sorry, but you can't just barge your way into the house without asking everyone's permission first. Oh man, I am so excited to move in. Make sure you clear out the largest room for me. Are you even listening to me? Maggie, are you still out? Why haven't you come home yet? You can't be out this late. I'm so hungry. I need to eat something. I'm sorry. What is it you want? We're eating dinner right now. What are you talking about? How is that any way to treat your housemate? How can you leave me here alone and starving in the house while you all go out to eat? Are you guys at a restaurant? Well, I do not really get what you're so upset about. I mean, none of us invited you to live with us in the first place. You barged your way into the house and insisted that you were going to be moving in, and then kicked us out of our own bedroom. Well, I told you that I was going to take the largest bedroom. It is not my fault if you didn't get it ready for me after I asked. Anyways, don't change the subject. Just hurry up and come home so you can make me dinner. Look, we are living in a multiple generation home, so the least you can do is get along with everyone. You can't just try to boss us around now that you've moved in. It's crazy that you're in the biggest room when you're single and there are 2 couples in the house. At least give the room to your parents. But the other bedrooms aren't big enough for me. I told you that I wanted the largest bedroom, and I don't intend on moving. I've already unpacked all my things. The room is 100% mine now. Oh my goodness, I really can't deal with this right now. We are going to have a long talk in person once we get home, okay? You really think the world revolves around you or something? You really piss me off. You know that? I know that you only think of me as a burden around here. How do you think that makes me feel? You want me to move out? How about you move out? Excuse me? What is that supposed to mean? Just what I said. So how about it? That is what we should have done from the very start. Sometimes I surprise myself with my genius. Anyways, I am going to be living with my parents from now on. Not you. After all, I am way closer to them than you are. I think you are being ridiculous and need to calm down. I literally don't even know what you are trying to say. I mean, you do know that you can't just kick me out of the house, right? It's too late. I've already decided that this is the best solution to this whole mess. Then, once you're gone, I can have the whole house to myself. It will be so amazing, don't you think? I think that you're insane is what I think. Well, I'll have you know that I talked to my parents and they said it was fine. So who is the crazy one now? Huh? Excuse me? Are you serious? You heard me. So once you get home, you might as well start packing your things and getting ready to leave. I want you out of the house as soon as possible. So you are really telling me that you asked your parents if you could kick me out of the house, and they said it was okay? Duh! That is what I just said. Can't you read? And besides, I'm the oldest child. Why wouldn't they do what I ask of them? I think it is high time that you learn to respect your elders and do what your big sister-in-law says. Wow. Are you being serious right now? This is just too much. I know it's a lot to take in now, but you need to learn a lesson, and apparently this is the only way how. You are ridiculous. I really don't care what you have to say either way. I am the oldest child, so it is my job to take care of my parents. I am going to be living with them, and we don't need you taking up any more space. I will give you a week to pack your things and get lost. Understand? Wow. You really don't know anything. What do you mean? Are you really sure you want to kick me out of the house? Of course I am. I already told you that I made up my mind about it. Besides, the house belongs to my parents, and they get to decide who lives there and who doesn't. And because I'm the oldest child, of course they are going to choose me over anyone else. I know you were trying to get me out of the house, but your stupid little plan backfired. The flaw in your little plan here is that this is my house. It's under my name. Oh, really? So now you're confessing to steal the house from my parents. I guess I'll just have to take it back for them and put it under my name instead. All right, whatever. If you say so. But I am going to ask you one more time, just to be certain. Are you really sure you want to kick me out of the house? How many times are you going to ask? Of course I am sure. And this pathetic attempt to try and change my mind won't work. Okay then, I just wanted to be sure. I guess I will start on all the things I have to do to get ready for that. You better. At least you finally understand that I'm not playing games with you. Now, get out of the house. I want you and my brother out of here by the end of the week. Hello? Maggie? Are you there? I really need to talk with you about something. It's important. I don't really feel like talking to you. You can text me, though. Did something happen? I'm just really confused right now. Something kind of weird happened, and I'm not sure how to handle it. Something weird like what? Can you be more specific? Well, my dad was asking me earlier today about the mortgage, but I have no idea what he was talking about. Do you? What do you mean? You put the house under your name, remember? You were super forceful about it. Well, that also means that you're going to be paying for the house. Wait, but my parents paid for the house, right? How about you go and ask your parents for a bit more details on this, huh? But I can't ask them about something like this. It would be too embarrassing. They might laugh at me. Anyways, I told my dad that I didn't know what he was talking about, and he told me that I had better pay it soon. Sarah, I have already explained this to you so many times, but you never listen, apparently. Brendan and I were the ones that paid for that house. We did it so that your parents wouldn't be saddled with the debt for it. And of course, the two of us bought it with the assumption that Brendan, your parents, and I were all going to live there. We had been planning to build this place for a while and had been saving up for it. Wait, so then you're telling me that this house was yours all along? That's right. But now, since you forced your name onto the deed and kicked us out, I plan on getting back my down payment on it. I've already called a lawyer to help me deal with all of the paperwork. Wait. What are you talking about? What is all this about a down payment? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you really think that a company is going to agree to build a house if you tell them you are only going to pay them with loans? Do you really think that that is how things work? You were the one that kicked us out of the house. You should have thought of all the risk that might have carried with it. Just speak clearly. You're not making sense. I mean, I thought my parents owned this house, but now everyone is telling me that I have to pay? That would completely wipe out my savings. I really don't get what my dad is talking about with this mortgage stuff. It's the reality of being a homeowner. And you kicked out the two people who were paying to help keep your parents there. But I guess even your own parents couldn't even see what was happening. They just went along with whatever you wanted. Anyways, Brendan and I both want nothing to do with you or your parents anymore. What are you saying? But what should I do? What am I supposed to do with the mortgage? How are we supposed to go on living like this? Oh, well, that is quite simple, actually. You just need to find a job. What? Me? Find a job? I mean, you are the cause of all this mess anyways. You need to take responsibility for what you have done. And the best way to do that would be to find a job and make some money so that you can afford the life you've made. But it's not that simple. I can't just go out and find a job. Oh, and don't forget about the down payment you'll have to return to us. And we expect all the payments we made on the house to be reimbursed as well. Wait, no. What's going on? I don't understand. How did it all come to this? This isn't how I thought things were going to go for me. So what? So things didn't go your way. What are you going to do about it? throw another tantrum. After all, that is what you normally do in these situations. Instead of trying to assess a situation calmly, you just act rashly. You didn't even bother to look into who was financing the house or the loans that were still left to pay. I mean, these are pretty basic things you have to think of when owning a house. Do you think people just get homes for free? I didn't think they were free, but I just didn't think that I would have to pay for everything. Well, I guess now you know, huh? You better get to work if you want to stay in that place, you know? It really is your best option. Wait, I got it! What if you and Brendan come back? What about that? Excuse me? Yeah, as if. No, please, I'm begging you. You have to come back. This isn't how things were supposed to go. There is no way I can afford to pay all that money. I'll even give you back your old bedroom. Just please come back and keep paying for the house. I mean, you guys were the ones who built it in the first place. You really are such a selfish, conceited person. You know that? But you don't have to worry. Brendan and I already moved to another state and have bought a new home for ourselves. Wait, what? What do you mean? We even changed our jobs to make the moves easier, just so that we could get as far away from you all as we could. We were able to buy our new place right away, and now the two of us will never have to deal with you again. Except for when you hear from my lawyer about collecting the down payment. Don't even think about trying to make a run for it. Anyways, good luck with the job hunt! Sarah only realized what a big mistake she had made by kicking Maggie and Brendan out of their house after it was way too late to fix it. As a result, Sarah had to take on the entirety of the mortgage. Watching her struggle and flounder, her parents went from seeing Sarah as their precious firstborn to something much worse. But for now, Sarah is saddled not only with the mortgage, but also the money she owes to Maggie and Brendan. I hear that these days, she is working for a company with a shaky reputation, slaving away every day to afford the house she stole. As for Maggie and Brendan, they managed to escape Brendan's abusive family and live together happily. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. See you next time! Hi, Allison! How are you, hun? Listen, do you mind if I use your parking spot for a while? It'll only be a week, okay? Thank you! Wait, what? What for? Don't you think this is all a little too sudden? Is everything okay? Why do you need to use it for a week? Normally, my family's car is parked there, and we use it every day. So I don't think I'll be able to help you. Sorry. Huh? You're joking, right? You can't help me? But you're rich, aren't you? You live in that penthouse apartment uptown after all. So why can't you just let me use your parking spot? Jeez. I've heard that rich people are all stingy, but this is beyond what I expected. It has nothing to do with money. It's just that it's too inconvenient. Like I said, that parking spot is in use, and we pay a service charge to the apartment complex for it. So? So what? You have the money, don't you? I know you're rich. You can afford to let me use it for 1 week. I'm sorry. Even if you insist, I just don't think it's going to be possible. Why can't you find your own spot? You've said before that your husband makes a lot of money, right? Not as much as you guys make. And anyway, it would help me to save money if I could use your parking space while I don't need the car. Don't you want to help a friend save money? Sorry, I already told you. Our parking space is in use. I can't lend it to you. We pay a lot for that spot, actually. And we only have the one parking spot, so there's no spare place for you to put your car. Well then, just take your car and park it somewhere else, and I'll use your parking spot. That's fine, isn't it? Huh? Why would I move my car somewhere else just so that you can use my parking spot? I have no idea what you're talking about. I told you before, right? I'm going on holiday with my family for a week. and I was wondering where to put the car while we're not using it. Everywhere around here is paid parking, and I figured if there were a friend with a spare spot somewhere, I could save money by leaving it with them. And then I thought of you! So you'll let me use it, right? No! Like I said, it's not a spare spot. We're using it every day. Anyway, why does it have to be me? Of course, I would consider it if I had a spare spot or enough space for another car, but it's simply not possible. We only have one spot, and we're using it. And that's final. Huh? Why are you being like this? We're friends, aren't we? And you live in such a nice place. Just help me out. Are you telling me to pay the expensive parking fees around here myself? I'm not telling you what to spend your money on. But if it's necessary for you to leave your car somewhere and you don't have anyone to lend it to, then I don't think it's unreasonable for you to pay for your own parking. Sorry, but I really can't help you. You're joking, right? You're a lot more selfish of a person than I thought, you know? Huh? What do you mean? Surely I haven't done anything unusual by turning you down here. I don't understand why you're so offended. You're so full of yourself. Just because you live in a penthouse apartment. You always come to pick up your child from school driving a black Mercedes-Benz, too. And when I asked about what kind of place you live in, you stuck your nose in the air and said, "Oh, I live in a penthouse apartment downtown." I never stuck my nose in the air. Please don't exaggerate. And you even went out of your way to show the house off to me the other day. Calling me over under the pretext that we're members of the same support group, so you should come and see my house? What? That's not what happened at all. You said you wanted to see the house and insisted on coming over, so I obliged. I definitely wasn't trying to show the place off. I even turned you down multiple times, but in the end, you practically invited yourself over. Well, you know, you're always driving that fancy car. Not to mention swanning around in your nice clothes. Can you really blame me for being a little curious about what kind of place you live in? Is that right? I can't say I really understand where you're coming from. As for my clothes, they just look nice because I always make sure to iron them. It's not like I'm wearing anything particularly expensive. I'm really not trying to show off. I promise. Of course you are. Don't pretend to be modest. Everyone said they envied you, with your expensive clothes and your fancy car. You just love being the center of attention, don't you? I'm sorry. It's not my intention. Really. Honestly, you're such a fraud. Flaunting your wealth everywhere you go and then not even letting me use one measly parking spot. I am so disappointed in you. I don't see how the two things are related, to be honest. Fine then. If you're going to be so stingy, then I just won't bother asking you for anything anymore, okay? Please don't put it like that. I have no idea what I've done to anger you so much. But please don't ask to use my parking spot anymore. Allison! Where are you right now? You're late! Good morning, Cordelia. What's happening? It's Saturday, you know. I'm pretty sure I don't have any particular plans today. Wait, are you at home? Well, yes. Is there a problem with that? What? You haven't even left yet? What a disaster! There's an emergency parent-teacher conference today. You really haven't heard anything about it? There is? No, I haven't heard anything. You're joking, right? I definitely mentioned it to you the other day. Everyone is here at the school already. We're all waiting for you. We can't start the conference without you, you know. What? Are you sure? I just checked and I definitely don't have any emails or messages about it. They must have gone into the wrong inbox or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you get here, ASAP. Okay, I will. I'm heading out the door now. Give me 10 minutes. Come as quickly as you can. We're all waiting. Cordelia, what's going on? I arrived at the school and no one was there. I tried asking around and no one knows anything about an emergency parent-teacher conference. Why would you lie to me? Wow, I'm surprised you found out so quickly. Nothing less from Allison, I suppose. Anyway, I'm a little bit busy right now. I'll contact you in a few hours when I have time. Huh? What's going on? I have no idea what's going on right now. Can you please just explain yourself? Hello? Are you still there, Cordelia? Hi, Allison. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Anyway, what did you want to talk to me about? You said you'd message me in a few hours, but it's been almost half a day, you know. Oh, yes, about that. No big deal. I just wanted to use your parking spot for a bit. But I needed to get your car out of the way first. Huh? So you lied to me to get me to take the car out of the parking space? Are you serious? Yes, exactly. You catch on quick, huh? As I told you before, I'm going on holiday with my husband, so I want to borrow your parking spot for a bit. I'll be back in a week, so just leave it for the time being. You'll need to find somewhere else to put your car. The fine for illegal parking is $2,000 a day, you know? Huh? What are you talking about? You didn't park your car in my spot. You parked it in someone else's. What do you mean? Of course I didn't. I would never make such a silly mistake. I even double-checked the number. Well, you must have made some kind of mistake because when I came home from the school, my parking space was open. Wait, what? Does it matter where you park? Of course it does. All of the parking spots are strictly designated. Did you read the sign next to the parking lot? Sign? What sign? I didn't see any sign. Well, just to let you know, it says the fine for illegal parking is $2,000 a day. You're joking, right? I didn't see that written anywhere. I thought that I'd parked in your spot after all. I wasn't looking around. I guess not. But I was able to put the car back in my parking spot without a problem when I got home. Seriously? No way. Well, then you need to do something about this situation. This is your fault for using such a complicated parking lot. All of it was explained to me when I moved in. And I also pay for my parking spot on time every month. So none of this is my fault. I'm just a bystander to this whole thing. Everyone who lives in the apartment complex knows how to use the parking lot, and there's never any problem. So why is it my fault that you couldn't understand it? But I told you I wanted to use your parking lot. You should have explained the rules to me. I refused, didn't I? So why would I have explained the rules to you if I didn't want you to use it? Well, that might be true, but you're still the one in the wrong here. I can't follow your line of logic at all. You're not making any sense. By the way, the owner of that parking spot is pretty infamous around here. I'm a little worried for you. Infamous? In what way? Well, I see him around sometimes when I go to get my car. He's a skinhead and covered in tattoos. People in the apartment who live across from him often see suspicious people coming and going from his door all day. We think he might be involved in something shady. You're joking, right? I don't want to be involved with someone like that. I could end up being targeted or something. You catch on pretty quick, huh? Honestly, he doesn't really seem like a bad person. But I don't want to interact with him any more than is necessary. You'll have to go and apologize to him in my place. You know what he looks like, right? Are you paying attention? I just said I don't want to interact with him any more than is necessary. I don't want to get involved in this mess. Don't rely on me to do something about this. But this could be really bad. What am I going to do? You're the only person who can make this right, so help me. Me? I don't have anything to do with this. I'm just a bystander. You're the one who tried to use someone else's parking spot and got into trouble because you misunderstood things. I don't owe you anything, nor do I feel like helping you. Don't say that. This is going to cost me $2,000 a day, you know. And starting today, I'm out of town for an entire week. Why don't you just come back and move it? That's not going to happen. I'm already on the other side of the country, you know. I'd have to get on an airplane to go back. We already paid for the hotel and everything. We can't come back now. And my husband is in a really good mood because we're on holiday. Well then, I guess you'll just have to give up and enjoy your trip and worry about the parking when you get back. You can pay the fine when you return. But it's $2,000 a day! And since I'll be away for a week, that's $14,000 in total. How am I supposed to afford that? Ah, that's right. You're a full-time housewife, right? I guess you'll just have to ask your husband to pay it for you. No, I couldn't possibly do that. Oh, really? Is there any particular reason for that? Well, the thing is, I already received money from him to spend on parking. Huh? You did? I told him we would have to pay for parking while we were away. So he gave me the money and told me to find a parking spot. How am I going to explain the situation to him? Oh, so you used the money for yourself, is that it? Yeah, something like that. I'm appalled. You lied to your husband and used his money for yourself, and now you want me to take responsibility for you? You're beyond help. Please, like I said, you're the only one who can fix this. I'm begging you. Can you at least lend me the money for now? I can't believe you have the nerve to ask me for money in this situation. If I pay for you, then that just means you'll have gotten away with this behavior without learning your lesson. I have learned my lesson. I promise. I promise I won't do anything like this ever again. Didn't you call me stingy for not letting you use my parking spot? And you accused me of flaunting my wealth and wanting to be the center of attention. Why should I give you a single cent? I'm really sorry about all that. I didn't mean it. I apologize, so please help me. I want to be able to enjoy my trip. I'm not stopping you from doing that. Put the parking thing out of your mind and just enjoy your holiday for now. Although I'm sure this will be a very expensive holiday for you. Don't say that! How could you, Allison? I had no idea that things would turn out like this. Well, it's your fault for trying to use someone else's parking spot, you know? Please take this opportunity to reflect on your own behavior. I am reflecting. I really am. Trust me, I am really having a hard time right now. Enough is enough. Don't leave me like this any longer. Help me. By the way, the owner is furious about this whole thing. You mean he already knows about it? That's right. He found out right away. The reason his parking spot was open was because he was away somewhere, you know? And then when he got back, another car was parked in his spot. Apparently, this has all been quite a nuisance for him to deal with. You went and told him? I didn't tell him anything. I just went home and parked my car as always. Then how do you know he's angry? I had my husband call him and give him the details about what's going on. You did? Once he explained to the owner, he lost it completely. We gave him your phone number too, just so you know. Huh? Why are you on his side? You should have just told him it was a misunderstanding or something. I just let him know that I wasn't involved. That's all. You'll have to sort it out and apologize to him after you get back. And how am I supposed to do that? Don't be like this. Help me out. Come to think of it, my husband has been glaring at me for a while now. Did you say something to him? My husband has already spoken to your husband on the phone. About what? What do you mean, about what? About the parking spot mix-up, of course. Wait, don't say anything to my husband yet. Let me explain it to him. You're too late, I'm afraid. And anyway, you caused quite a bit of trouble for my husband this morning, too. He's furious with you as well. I mean, I ran out of the house in a panic with our daughter this morning. So when he asked me about it later, I explained that you'd lied to me. You did what? How can you be so selfish? What do you mean? This all happened because you used someone else's parking spot without permission. Aren't you being a little hypocritical? By the way, I've already screenshotted this entire conversation and sent it to everyone involved, including your husband. What am I going to do? My husband seems to be really furious at me. Please, do something. You have to help me. Like I said, I'm just a bystander in all this. Please, I'm begging you. Can we just write this all off as a little misunderstanding? And why should I do that? Look on the bright side. At least you found somewhere to leave your car for the week. Although it's a rather expensive spot, I'm afraid. At least try to enjoy your trip while you're away. Anyway, I should let you get back to your holiday. I'll be blocking you as well, of course. Well, have fun! After that, Cordelia's husband was red in the face with rage, and they had a blazing argument. During the trip, their relationship took a turn for the worse as they often snapped at each other. Once they returned home, they had to face Allison's scary skinhead neighbor and apologize to him. He told them to pay a nuisance fee of $10,000. As you can imagine, Cordelia turned pale when she heard this. In her rush to get the car out, Cordelia damaged the gate and was charged another $40,000 on top of that. The amount might seem to be absurd, but they lacked the money to hire a lawyer. After finding out that she had deceived him to get money for parking, Cordelia's husband said he couldn't trust her anymore and filed for a divorce. He also told her to pay her debts off herself and threw her out of the house. Cordelia started working a part-time job in order to pay her debts, but being unaccustomed to working a job, she didn't have very much success and was quickly fired. Allison, on the other hand, received a few $1,000s from Cordelia's law-abiding husband as compensation for the nuisance. He ended up taking her entire family out to dinner at an expensive restaurant, although it seems that the money he gave them came from Cordelia. Cordelia now has a massive debt as a result of her self-serving behavior and envy of others. But it's all her own fault, after all.
Hey, Nora, do you have a quick moment to chat? I was just wondering where you're going this weekend.
This weekend? I don't think my family has any plans to go anywhere, really. Why do you ask?
Come on, don't you lie to me. I know that isn't true. You and your family are always taking cool trips on the weekend. Everyone knows that. You should take us along sometime.
What? Usually we just end up going to the mall. I don't really know what trips you're talking about. Sorry.
Oh, the mall sounds fun. You should take me and my family next time you go.
You want to come with us to the mall?
Yeah, we can all get lunch together too. It'll be fun. So what time are you going to come and pick us up?
Well, the mall is only like 5 minutes drive from where we live, and it's 20 minutes drive to your house, so it isn't exactly the most convenient thing to go and pick you up just for a trip to the mall.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. My husband doesn't really like driving on the weekends, so it will work out perfectly, actually. If you all come to our place to pick us up, then he won't have to drive, and it'll be a win-win, right?
Well, no. I mean, I was trying to say that it isn't really worth driving so far out of the way just to go to the mall that is so close by.
What? Come on now. What are you talking about? Don't you think you're being a little mean right now, Nora?
Mean? I'm sorry, I don't understand how I am being mean.
You should be nice to everyone. You don't see how you're being selfish right now? I mean, I'm your husband's little sister. We're sisters-in-laws. You should try doing nicer things for me when I ask.
Well, what if you all found your own way to the mall and then we can meet up there and eat lunch? I just don't really see the point in driving all the way to pick you all up when you have a car that you can take to go yourselves.
Well, okay, but for making us do all of that hard work, you're at least going to treat us all to lunch then, right?
What? Why would I do that?
Oh, thank you so much.
That wasn't me saying that I would. I was asking why I should.
I know of a steakhouse in the mall that I've just been dying to try out, so let's go there, okay?
Erica, what are you even talking about right now? You're always like this. You think that you can just talk over people until you get what you want.
I am not. You're just being cheap. Are you really going to let your stinginess ruin this whole mall trip?
Yep, I guess I am, Erica. I guess I am.
Well, whatever. We will let you know when we get there, so it'll be around noon so that we can all eat together.
I don't even know if I feel like going to the mall anymore, actually.
Oh, by the way, I heard that you were all going on a vacation next month, right? Mike was telling us a little bit about it.
What? Mike told you about our family vacation?
Well, not exactly. He told our mom, and then Mom told me about it, but that means that he basically told me all about it. I hear that you're all going to a nice resort in Wyoming. I'm sure you don't mind if my family tags along to go with you guys, right?
Erica, what are you talking about? This is a trip for my family. I'm sorry, but no, you can't come.
But we are family, aren't we? Do you really not want us there so badly?
You know what I meant, Erica. I meant direct family, not just relatives. It's just going to be Mike and I and the kids. I'm sorry.
But we really want to go. I don't see what the big deal is. At least tell us the name of the hotel that you're going to be staying at.
Do you really want to come along with us that badly?
I just think it would be really fun if our two families got to go on vacation together. Think of all the great times and memories that we could have.
I see.
So then it's fine? You don't mind? Make sure and reserve a room for us at the same place you will all be staying at, okay? And make sure that it's for 2 adults and 1 kid. Thank you!
Why do I have to make the reservations for your family? I don't understand.
Well, because you haven't told us the name of the place that you're all going to be staying at, of course. I can't reserve rooms at a hotel that I don't know the name of.
So then if I tell you the name of the hotel, then you can make your own reservations, is what you're saying?
Nora, come on. Why do you always have to be like this? You should be more excited about this. We're all going to enjoy some beautiful nature together. Won't that be nice?
Well, we're going to stay 3 days and 2 nights at a pretty nice place. It isn't exactly cheap. Are you sure you still want to tag along?
Yeah, of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?
I mean, do you think you might want to look into the price at all and make sure you can go? I don't mean to be rude, but it's just, well, you always seem to be short on money. I just am not sure if you'll be able to afford a place like this.
What are you talking about? There is nothing to worry about since you're going to be paying for everything.
Excuse me? And just what is that supposed to mean?
That I'm just so thankful that you agreed to pay for us. It's so sweet of you.
Erica, what are you even talking about right now?
I mean, you said so yourself, right? My family definitely doesn't have the kind of money to be able to afford a trip like this. So you and Mike are going to be paying for us to come along with you.
Sorry, so not only do you force your way into my family vacation, but you expect me to pay for all of you too?
Well, when you put it like that, it sounds horrible. Besides, you said you would pay. Don't you remember? I know that it isn't like you can't afford it.
I never once said that I would pay for you. What are you talking about? You always try and do this. You always try and trick people into paying for whatever you want to do. Well, I'm putting my foot down and saying no.
But you can't do that. I already told Adam that we would be going on this trip.
What? Why would you even do that? We barely even talked about this at all. Why would you say that to him?
Well, because now you can't tell me no. It'll break his heart. So just send me the name of the hotel. I'll make the reservations and you can pay me back for it in person when we meet there. Thanks again, Nora. You're the best.
I am not going to be paying for you. I am serious. Do not do this if you think that you're going to be paid back.
Oh, also, one more thing. It would be such a waste to take 2 cars to go there, so we're all going to go in your car, okay? Make sure you pick us up on the way out of the city. Okay, thanks!
Are you even reading the messages that I'm sending you?
We're so looking forward to this. It's going to be a blast. See you there! Oh man, the breakfast buffet this morning was incredible. It's been so tasty every single time. But I didn't see you in the dining room this morning. Where did you all run off to? Did you all go take a morning dip instead? Hello? Nora, are you there?
What is it, Erica? What do you want?
Don't you, what is it, me? Where did you all go? Tell me now. We are trying to check out, and the front desk person is telling us that our bill still hasn't been paid.
Where are we? Well, my family and I are all back home already.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
I mean, we checked out this morning and we got back home maybe an hour or two ago.
Nora, what are you talking about? What about us?
What about you?
Well, we all came together in your car, so if you all just went home without us, then how are we supposed to get home? What are we supposed to do?
What are you talking about? You're an adult. You should be able to figure this out. I mean, you can't expect people to do everything for you all the time.
What is that supposed to mean?
What I just said, Erica. You are an adult, so find your own way home. You have a phone, so use the map and find a route back. I know that there is a shuttle at the resort that will take you back to the nearest large town. Maybe from there you can catch a flight back. Figure something out for yourself for once.
Nora, how can you be so cruel? I don't understand what's gotten into you. I don't even know how I would even start to figure out how to get home.
What? What do you mean? Why not?
Well, for one, I don't even have any money. How can we get home without any money?
What? You didn't even bring any money with you at all?
And the person at the front desk keeps talking about how we have to pay our bill still. What is going on here even?
Erica, I seriously wish I knew what was going on inside that head of yours sometimes. I told you over and over and over again that we were not going to be paying for your family to come with us. Scroll up in our messages. It is there written in plain English. I told you that you would have to pay your own way, but you insisted on coming, and now look at what you've gotten yourself into. We had to get up really early in the morning to make sure that we could check out of there and escape without you noticing.
What do you mean? I thought that our families were having so much fun together.
You seriously thought that Mike and I were having fun the way you kept making us pay for everything? You made us take you shopping and out to restaurants. It was ridiculous. I mean, honestly, what were you even thinking?
But we didn't have any money on us. We didn't have any other choice but to rely on you two. And more importantly, we don't have any money to pay for the hotel now, or a means to get home. Please, come back and pick us up, Nora.
Yeah, no, I am not going back there for you. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Maybe you can call your parents and ask them for some money. If you have time to be texting me all of this, you should at least have the time to give them a call.
But I can't ask them for money for this. It'll be too embarrassing. How could you even ask me to do something like that?
Well, do whatever you want then, but neither Mike nor I are going to go and pick you up from there. I guess you really just don't have any choice but to call your parents and ask them for some money, huh?
Wait, Nora, please. Can you at least tell me how much you paid for your stay?
Did you really not even look at all how much it was going to cost? You made the reservations. What were you doing? I mean, the price had to have been written down on the website when you booked your rooms. How do you not know how much you're supposed to be paying? If you must know, for the four of us, it cost a little over $1,000.
$1,000?
I told you that this place was a pretty nice hotel, didn't I? I told you that it wasn't cheap.
But we can't pay $1,000.
Well, that sounds like a you problem, Erica. You're the one so intent on butting into our family vacation. You really should have thought more about how you're going to afford it. You have no one to blame but yourself.
Please, Nora, I'm so sorry.
But you always do this, Erica. You always just try and tag along on other people's plans and expect them to pay for you. And whenever you ask to tag along on something with my family, and I bring up not wanting to have to pay for you, then you run to your parents and tell them that I was being cheap. You're always making me look bad, but I've had enough. You're on your own now. Figure your own way out of this.
Nora, what are you talking about right now? You can't be serious, right? Please, let's be reasonable.
Do you really think that just because you're my sister-in-law, that makes you entitled to everything I own? Do you know how obnoxious and pushy you can be? Well, Mike and I are sick of it, and it isn't just us. Even your parents are getting sick of your attitude and the way you use people. We've talked, and we think it's high time that you learn a little responsibility.
Well, that's all fine, but what am I supposed to do about this hotel bill?
I don't know. You will have to figure out a way to pay it off yourself. But I'm not going to be paying that for you. In fact, until you figure all this out, I don't want to hear another word from you, Erica.
But the hotel manager just came out and said that if we aren't able to pay, then he was going to call the police on us.
Wow, it seems that you have dug quite the hole for yourself, haven't you? Well, good luck dealing with the cops.
Wait, no! You can't just leave things like this. Come on, Nora. This is all your fault that things went this way, so the least you can do is help us out. You have to do something. You can't just leave us like this.
What are you talking about? Don't try to pin this on me just because you thought that you could have your way if you ignored what I tried to tell you. You thought that you could waltz in here and do whatever you wanted and expect everyone to follow along. Well, not this time. Also, it sounds like Mike called your parents for you.
What? He called Mom and Dad? Why would he do that?
Apparently, your parents agreed to make the long drive out to pick all of you up. But after that, they said they were cutting you off from any other help.
What? Did they really say that? But why? How could they do this?
I told you, it wasn't just Mike and I that were getting fed up with your attitude. We weren't the only ones that noticed the way you treat others. You treat your family like your own personal piggy bank, all because you refuse to learn how to be responsible with your own money. Did you really think things could go on forever like that?
We're all family. I thought that they would be fine with it. I don't see what the problem is.
Do you really think that just because you're family that you can just ask for whatever you want of someone and expect them to do it for you?
Okay, I get it. Nora, please just help us out. You have to do something. I've tried texting Mike, but he isn't responding to any of my messages. Please, what are we supposed to do now?
Why do you keep asking me as if I'm going to have an answer? I'm not going to help you with any of this. I've already told you. As for Mike, he said that he's blocked you.
What? My own brother blocked me?
Well, I really don't know what else you could expect after all the trouble you've caused us over the years.
But this is too much. How can you all be so cruel to me in a time like this? Are you really all willing to let me get arrested just for this? Are you all really so ready to just abandon me?
Erica, if you don't want to get arrested, then you'll have to beg your parents to pay the hotel what you owe and apologize for what you've done.
But that will be so embarrassing. I can't do something like that. I would just die of shame.
Well, enjoy the police station then.
Please. I need to get out of here. You have to help me get out of here. Please, I couldn't stand it if my parents had to bail me out like this. Help me, please.
Wow, trying to run away from the hotel because you can't pay your bill? That really is what a criminal would do. Anyways, I'm getting tired of this. I think I'll leave you blocked for a while. Good luck with the cops and your parents. In the end, Erica and her family were unable to pay their outstanding bill at the resort. Erica panicked and tried to run out the front door of the hotel, but she did so as soon as the police were showing up, and they made sure she stayed put. After that, her parents finally arrived to bail her out. Without a job, however, Erica had no choice but to find some part-time jobs so that she could start paying back her parents. Now her family barely ekes by every month just to afford the essentials. My husband knew that Erica would take forever to pay back their parents, and so he paid them the rest of her outstanding amount. Even after that, they still refused to give Erica any more financial help. Left with no one to blame but herself, I only hope that she learns her lesson and changed for the better in the future.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.